Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Connecticut Precious Movie News. I'm Arnie.
I'm Andy.
Today, we're going to be watching The Matrix Resurrections, the new Matrix movie from just one of the Wachowskis. Dude, we've talked about The Matrix a lot. I think it's fair to say that The Matrix is a very informative movie for those of us of our generation. Dude, it's insane to think that The Matrix is fucking 22 years old? It's 2002.
Yeah.
It was 99. So it's 23, 20. Oh, fuck, dude. The Matrix can drink. There are people drinking right now that weren't even a fucking thought when the Matrix was coming out. We're so fucking old. There's a meme that I saw the other day where it was fucking Fry looking at a piece of paper and it said that the fucking PS2 was released 21 years ago. Fuck, dude. But yes, it's been like so long since we've got a good Matrix movie. And then like the last two Matrix movies, I love parts of them. I will say that there are parts of those movies that I truly enjoy. The biggest problem with them, however, is the fact that halfway through both those movies, we lose the main character for a long time. And then the story just becomes kind of a convoluted mess towards the end. And then the ending is very open-ended and kind of grandiose and strange, and you don't really know what's going on, and it just doesn't end well, and you lose the main character, and it just kind of falls apart. But there's some fucking great things in those movies, for sure. Sir, what are your thoughts on those last movies, and what do you expect to get here, man? I know there's a lot there.
There's a lot, I already love what I've seen so far. So I think what I loved about the original was the world being so different, yet so similar to our world. Like things were so sci-fi, but it was realistic. You know, like it could be on a whim, like it could be what we're doing. It makes you question reality. And like I always thought like that was the greatest thing like that they ever asked in that. You question reality in the movie.
Yeah.
And then like it makes you just kind of question reality yourself out of the movie, and I loved it. I always loved the original Matrix, and what I thought the Wachowskis did the best was that they created this infinite world, and they created this world that's pretty much endless. Like you can just keep creating upon that. Like I thought this would be, and a great video game came out for this. You know, Enter the Matrix was a great video game because the concept is very video game-y. It's an endless possibility style.
It's the best sequel to the first movie.
It honestly is, and it has it has some of the character tie-ins. It was a great way to do the game.
Yeah.
What I didn't like about that movie was that it was completely rushed, and I think there was a skeleton for like a script there, but it wasn't cleaned up, it wasn't polished, and I think what we got was a very rushed story with an amazing backbone to it, because the world that they create is their baby. It's their dreams coming to life. So I always thought that the writers did a great job with the world, but the last two stories were rushed. Now, once again, we got great things with it, and I mean, even the way, I don't want to spoil like something coming up, but like even in the original series when they like replace the Oracle, they like make sense of it. Like they get you to like they convince you that it was the right move for them because it was like rewriting code. That's why they rewrote. That's why they rewrote it a different character. And I always just thought that was so fascinating.
Yeah.
And all the biblical references. So I've always loved the Matrix as a whole. And so like I'm geared up. I'm geared up to watch this.
For sure. Me too. I want to like preface everything by saying that, look, this discussion is just about the Matrix in and out. We're going to talk spoilers of what the movie could be because we're just gonna go ham on it. Okay. So whatever I'm not going to put the spoiler thing on because we haven't seen the movie, but we're just going to dive into this thing as much as possible and just give you like a most detailed ideas of what we have about what's going on with this movie as well. And then we're definitely going to talk about the Matrix as a whole as well. So just keep that in mind. I'm going to go ahead and turn on for reference. I'm not going to play the audio because the audio will get us a copyright strike, and I'd rather not have that. But I will play video, and if you want to follow along with us watching the trailer, I will start it. I will give you a countdown. Let me put it up on the screen, and they'll still be able to hear us and our reactions, Drew. So, if you feel the need to say something, just let it rock. All right.
You just turned on the sound, right?
I turned the sound off. Yes.
You just meant to, but you meant to mute it, right? But you turned it on just now?
I turned it off. I turned it off on the streaming thingy, and I turned it on for me so I can listen to it through my computer.
Just making sure. Sorry, man.
Yeah, no, for sure. All right, here we go. Matrix 4. Fucking Neil Patrick Harris in this bitch.
Yeah. Thought you said Neo Patrick Harris because that was good. That was good.
Neo Patrick Harris. I love how they're just keeping the fucking John Wick hair. They're just going with it.
I mean, the cat in the opening sequence is just like the deja vu cat already in it,
Absolutely. Well, okay, so she's back. Like, we'll talk, but this is total like Giver vibes.
Such a perfect song for this. Like,
yeah,
probably couldn't afford it the first time around, but now 100%. Who cares?
Alliteration. That's definitely Oracle.
It's a younger Oracle.
So he's a different person. It's like they're redoing it.
I think it's the same girl. Is that the original girl too?
No, because that was Carrie Ann Moss, right?
No, the original Alice Tattoo girl.
Oh. New powers. Full Kamehameha, bro.
Oh, was that the lake house from Keanu Reeves' original Lake House movie?
Yeah. That was Carrie Ann Moss in the real world.
Yeah, with the shaved head?
Yes. He uses the Force.
Oh my gosh.
Matrix.
Yes.
All right. Okay. So initial impressions. I'll give mine. So what it feels like to me that is what is happening here is like, so like if you know what's going on in the original Matrix, and it's really hard to decipher because they explain it all at the end of Reloaded, and it's explained in this fucking weird giant diatribe with the fucking architect. So apparently the fucking machines actually clone humanity, and because the universe itself literally makes it to where eventually the humans are able to rip themselves out of the Matrix because the universe has a balance. They have to do this thing where they clone a bunch of people to shepherd the one into a specific hole that they want them to go to, because Neo just kind of happens in the Matrix because this is kind of the crux of the whole like movie and the mythology, right? Because it's literally like the universe understands that humanity is being held back and being held as a prisoner, and it literally makes it to where Neo just happens to balance the scale of power. And watching this trailer, there's a young Morpheus. There's like a whole retelling of the story of the way they bring Neo out, which is also the same way that it happens over and over and over through history, through the cloning and all that. So it looks like they're doing that again, but like Neo is different. He's literally a different person. He's like literally inside a different person. And then we've got Carrie-Anne Moss who's back as well. So it's like they're doing the same thing again, but again, it's going to sway differently. And Neo, at this point, instead of starting from the beginning of him not knowing his powers, has his powers. So that's kind of where I'm thinking this thing is jumping off, right? Like I feel that that's what's happening here.
We're in like another iteration of the Matrix, just like the Colonel Sanders always told us we were going to get, right? Like,
We're reversing it. We're doing it again.
Yeah. And that's how I think they get away with a lot of these changes, which are beautiful changes. Like, this is a beautiful way that you can get away with it because the Matrix is just a copy of a copy of a copy, and things start to, once you keep copying things, it's going to be a little different every time. Right. So I like that. I like that concept of it. There's just some moments in here that these callbacks are really strong. And in the trailer, that they're very subtle in the beginning, and then they get to screaming by the end, right? So like you see at 3 seconds, you see the cat, or I think 2 seconds. No,
of course the cat. There's the cat.
Yeah, there's the cat, right? And then that's why I thought you said Neo Patrick Harris. I'm like, yeah, that's a wonderful character name, right?
For sure.
But yeah, Neil Patrick Harris is there as the psychiatrist, and like I love that concept just because it's from the original one where like he's questioning his own. Like original Neo from the Matrix would never go to a psychiatrist because he hated the world. He was very punk, like he was very grunge to where like he would never do anything of conformity. So like this is a different version of Neo because Neo's going to see a psychiatrist. He's like a more normal guy than just this programmer, right? This coder that he used to be. Because that coder would never go see a psychiatrist, but like he's trying to break down his thoughts. You instantly see I think a pill bottle, right? Like we get
definitely pill. There's definitely he's taking.
We see Carrie-Anne Moss first.
Yeah, Carrie-Anne Moss
at a coffee shop first, and it's a have we met moment, and I already love it. And then instantly we are given the blue pill, and I can't remember what's the blue pill.
The blue pill stay in the fucking stay. You stay in, and if you take the red pill, you follow Alice down the rabbit hole. Yeah, it looks like he's taking it too. I feel like I'm just like speculating on what's happening.
He has
here.
Like 1 million blue pills. Like he's dumping them down the sink.
For sure. So like it gives me like Giver vibes where everyone takes these drugs to keep them from having emotions and shit.
Oh yeah. So
like it's weird. So like at the end of the Matrix, right? At the end of the Matrix, the last one is Revolutions, right? Matrix Revolutions. Neo isn't dead. His body gets carried away, and like the reason that Neo is the one that the movie's about is because there has never been a time in the story of the one where Agent Smith kind of took over and became more powerful, and the machines, like Neo knew this, needed Neo to stop Agent Smith, right? That was the one thing that was different to all the other iterations that came after Neo. Because, right, and like what's happening here is like, it's like, I don't know, maybe they still have Neo somewhere and maybe they still need him, or it's like maybe they have Neo and he's trying to break out and he's bringing all these people back from the dead inside of the Matrix, or maybe these are the machines using Carrie-Anne Moss to influence Neo because they still can't stop him because he's going to bring everyone out again. But yes, like the blue pill thing. Yeah, right here. So he's taking blue pill. So he's definitely like on this medication. And what we know about the blue pill is that it keeps you in the Matrix, right?
Yeah.
So this is definitely like something of control,
Well, then
Like
I like
Neo is
so like I'm
being
not
controlled.
I don't know if I want to like I don't know if I can just off of this one like do all these assumptions like you're doing right now, but like I'm just looking at what it is that we have here, right? And like I love this elevator at like 51 seconds where like everyone is consumed by media, and like Matrix already goes into this in the original one, and I think like
Yeah.
we've grown more and more into like what the original Matrix movie was, because everyone is just consumed by media, and he's like staring at everyone just on their phones, on their laptops, on their iPads, and then he just like looks up into this mirror and the ceiling like that you're showing right now, and that's just such a like I do that sometimes. Like I look and I see that everyone like I could I could literally be making a funny face or do like holding a gun and nobody would see it because everyone's on their fucking phone at all times
Yeah.
of the day.
Have you? There's actually like a medical condition. I forget I don't know the name of it, but like babies are starting to have elongated back, back
Oh,
skull bones because they're so down here that to counterbalance it, their heads have to like build a growth on the back to counterbalance it.
oh
Also, like
god.
humps for people in their like early 20s is like crazy much. It's crazy
Oh
worse
yeah.
because everyone's just doing this so like on their bed and just walking around, yeah, like it's like the fact that we're fucking in our phones all the time is like literally changing our physiology.
Yeah. And then it's like moving on, like and then we get the gold, man. We get the gold at 57 seconds or like 56. He quits the blue pills. He puts them all in the sink
Yeah,
and he's ready to flush them down the toilet. So like he's ready to commit. He's ready to follow Alice
he
down the
knows
rabbit hole.
something's wrong.
Yeah.
He's seeing everything for what he is, right?
And
Which is a totally good allegory for like everything else that's happening in our society and shit. It's like stop falling deep into that hole of shit that's happening. We get the little reference of this has got to be. I mean, she looks just like the Oracle,
but
right?
she's right, exactly. And
Right.
that clip opens with, and I can't quite like make it, but like it's like it's a certain page in Alice in Wonderland. Like it's like the tree, because she's showing that's it closed.
The tree.
Yeah,
this is where she starts her journey, right?
Yeah. And so like everything is just written so perfect in this, right? Like, and like one pill makes you bigger and one pill makes you smaller in the song. It keeps repeating.
Oh yeah.
She's singing one pill makes you stronger, like and it's all happening during this little scene. So then we see Oracle, then we see him, we see that weird older guy.
Yeah, but he's so like what we're seeing is Neo in his actual representation with his John Wick hair. He's looking in the mirror. I love how they're bringing back the mirrors as portals in here as well, right? And then we get the reveal. This is where it brings me back to, okay, they're doing it again, because that's definitely Morpheus, right? Played by the man who would be the Dr. Manhattan.
Yes.
Forget his name.
He has the clip-on glasses already, right?
Yeah. It's a perfect representation of him. So like, and he's like, "Hey Neo, do you want to take the Red Bull again?" Like, I feel like it's like, are they like in the real world again, trying to pulling him out again? You know what? And there it is again. See, there's the question: the red pill or the blue pill? We're going back to that alliteration. The White Rabbit. See, we're going back. Like it's the same. It's like the same story, but in a different way, right? And then we get into the port, and this is where like it's different from the other one as well, because they're using the mirrors as literal portals to go through the Matrix.
Well, and I feel like now that the Matrix is different, to me, like my assumption to this is that like different rules can be broken in the Matrix. You know what I mean? Like different rules, like now, like, we the portals were used differently then. And like we had like the way, like, because wasn't it like liquid? Didn't it turn to liquid and then like the mirror consumed him? And that's how he wakes up. That's how he wakes up. and it's like what's one of the scariest scenes, or it leads up to the scariest scenes, because that birthing scene is still like haunting me since I was 9.
Oh yeah, dude. Like one little tidbit about that birthing scene. So on set when they did that, they could only have the act. They could only have Keanu Reeves in it for like minutes at a time, because they didn't realize this when they made that liquid. That liquid is some sort of like, I think it's like silicone or something, but like it literally pulls out your heat from your body. So if he was in there for too long, he would get hyperthermia, and it's something crazy like within 10 minutes or something. Yeah. But yeah, so it looks like he's going through it again. They're doing the thing where he follows the White Rabbit, and then, oh my God, okay. He goes to the White Rabbit, he goes to Neo, and then again we're watching this right here. Nice golden hour shot of wherever Neo is to wherever Carrie-Anne Moss is. And whatever Trinity is playing in this world, she's going to be a prominent role. I love that, because to me, it feels like what they're doing here is that they're bringing back the love story, right, of Trinity and Neo. And like that's one of the really nice, like beautiful things about the original movie.
Yeah.
Because the third act is predicated on their love story. Right. And you really believed it. And it was like the impetus for him to like realize his power and for him to come back. So I'm always in it for the sappy things. And I'm always in it for that kind of stuff. Like they're bringing, and I love that they're bringing Carrie-Anne Moss back. She hasn't done a lot since she's done The Matrix. She's done a couple of things on television for sure. But they're definitely bringing her back in a prominent way here. It looks like she doesn't know what's going on. Neo obviously has a feeling towards her, but he himself doesn't know what's happening. He doesn't understand his feelings towards her, looks like. But like he definitely remembers something of the past, right? And like, we get this beautiful scene callback from the original dojo scene with Morpheus and Neo. I wonder if like
go back real quick though. Like, doesn't that house? I'm just saying that this was the joke I was trying to make. It was like, there's a movie where that Keanu Reeves does with like I think Sandra Bullock.
Talk about the lake house.
The lake house.
The lake house.
This is like the same fucking lake house. Did he just? Because like I always heard that like he bought that actual lake house or something. Like there was some rumor. Where, yeah. So like I'm in my heart I believe this is the original lake house from. This is the original
lake house from the movie The Lake House. And the romantic.
Like, I think no, it's not just romantic. It was it's two time periods. Yeah, it's 2 time periods, and they're writing between times. I think that could have been a prequel to this movie.
And Carrie-Anne Moss, Trinity, was actually Sandra Bullock, just in a different body.
Exactly.
Yeah, we get this beautiful callback to the dojo scene, dude.
I'm so sorry, man. Hey, but before because we just skipped over something. You started. I didn't want to interrupt your Carrie-Anne Moss thing, and it's like we skipped over this thing I really wanted to talk about. But like we get introduced to the White Rabbit girl again, and the White Rabbit girl is the girl that leads Neo to. And I think it's at a minute 14. 14. Like we get introduced to her like immediately. In the first one, and she's with like the drug dealer kind of guy, and it's a different woman now, but like
100%, yeah.
But the White Rabbit girl is what leads the Alice in Wonderland reference, and the White Rabbit girl is what leads him to Trinity in the original one. So I'm wondering, just because of her presence, and she looks like she's actually in the Matrix where the original girl was not. And so she's putting on she's putting on the shades, she's doing everything. She looks like a young Trinity in the sense that like she could be one of the one of the people that are trying to lead Neo back into the Matrix.
Right. And that's where I'm like, my head's like saying like they're doing it again.
All right. Sorry, man. Back to dojo.
Dojo scene, bro. The dojo scene in the original movie is one of the most like, it's one of the best. It's like the original Matrix changed action movies, right? And it changed action movies in a lot of ways. One of the biggest ways is definitely technology. there was a whole lot of special effects that were literally created for that movie to really showcase some incredible action scenes and visionary action scenes we've never seen before, right? Another way that it really influences like movies is that it brought these martial arts, these like beautiful martial arts scenes into the Western audiences in the way that they were kind of filmed in original like martial arts scenes from Asia. In that the fucking actors actually learned kung fu and actually literally fought each other, dude. And it's just this. I love this callback for it because that scene is like one of the most seminal scenes in the original Matrix, where like you knew, okay, we're about to enter into a badass action movie. And we move through this, and it's like in this time, Neo doesn't get his ass kicked. He fucking takes his eyes closed and grabs fucking Morpheus's hand and says, "Nah, dude. Not only do I know kung fu, I know apparently Kamehameha. Looks like."
Yeah.
So Neo's got some new powers. Also, notably, I don't think he can fly. I don't see him fly, but maybe at the end he just kind of falls. For sure.
Right. Well, I don't. He doesn't know. He's relearning, and I think like it's easier to like call back some powers than it was before. But like I think he's like relearning everything. So like it's just like a wake back up the superhero. It's like when Superman lost his powers, kind of type thing, you know. So, but what I do like about what you said is this whole martial arts. We're going kind of full circle, and I wanted I wanted to tell you this in the last one, but in the last review, the movie review that we did for Shang-Chi, that like that choreographer, they brought that same choreographer from the original Matrix to do his like I could be wrong, but like I think I saw in a video that like they brought that same person and that style to do the 10 rings, like kind of martial arts, the one where he drags his foot on the ground. It's this kind of open, they call it open hand, like open hand martial arts kind of type thing.
Yeah, and the like, things that his mother does. Yeah,
and so all that is brought back from that Matrix scene, and it all comes back to that open, like that dojo scene that we all learned, where like Morpheus like opens his hand and waves him to come like to come over, right? Like
iconic, bro.
It's so iconic, but then it's like it's even taken to a further level with the Keymaker, and the Keymaker in that dojo that he has to fight in Reloaded, right? Or is it Resurrections? One of the two. But that like 20 years later is now like being used in the Marvel action movies that we see today. And so like I need to see more martial arts in this. This can't just be like using your powers and that's it. I need to see the martial arts come back.
I thought the same thing too. I was like, yeah, he looks like he has cool powers, but like also the martial arts is kind of a crucial thing to the Matrix thing. Like I want to see some badass martial arts happening as well. But yeah, it looks like he has some powers. It was interesting that he fucking blows up that whole dojo shit. It's interesting how remember the Matrix Revolutions and the Matrix Reloaded, like he did have some new powers, and he had like new powers in the real world too, where he was actually able to stop an entire army of those Sentinels. Sentinel drones with like the power of his hand. So it looks like Neo is just like supremely powerful in this. I'm super excited to see what other kinds of things like he has.
It looks like we see like at like 146 or something. We see a Sentinel. Looks like we could be looking at Sentinels of some sort right there.
This is the Harvest. This is human beings.
Oh yeah. Well,
this is
just after that, it looks like we see what was that?
The remnants of the cities.
Yeah. The original city that was like where they keep going back in Reloaded.
Yeah, looks like they were in the fields. We're in the human fields.
Yeah,
and they're still ripe with human beings being harvested for energy and power. And actually, in this scene, so what we're seeing here is looks like it's the Resistance, right? These are the people who are of the actual from Zion, actual human beings floating through the remnants of the old cities, trying to free people. So I think maybe that's happening again, right? Like maybe there's a clone of Morpheus on a new Nebuchadnezzar floating around, who is also part of the Zion army, going out to try to find the one again. So we're doing it again, over again. And then we go back here again, the love story of Trinity and Neo, which I
Oh,
think, I love that they're bringing the center stage, because like that, if you're gonna do a movie about the Matrix, I think this is where you have to kind of ground it, right? Because it's not, it's such an outlandishly large science fiction-y story to tell, that the best way to kind of ground that movie is with the love story that seems to ring through the ages and rings through time. So I'm in it for this.
I like the callback that I think they're back. They're back on the same, like they're back on a building that looks similar. It's probably not the same building, but it's back to that post office building where they save Morpheus from. And
Yeah.
like that's the callback that I like, because um we're already on top of a building again, and like that's kind of where he really finds his true powers and his true love for Trinity, because of like the sacrifices they have to make in the original.
That incredible scene where he saves her from a helicopter after he's kind of like coming into his own, and like she's falling off of a fucking building in a helicopter, and he saves
Yeah.
her life by like throwing a rope down there and fucking grabbing her out. And then that moment where he brings her back up, and then for a moment they meet, and she's like, "What the fuck did you just do?" He's like, "Are you okay?" um, we go again. This lady doing some amazing acrobatic stuff. Um, Jumping off of the buildings here again, looks like, I think she's definitely part of the resistance, right? Okay, this is where I'm kind of like not like, I like the, let's like the morphing into the agents was a little less CGI in the last one. So
Yeah.
like there's definitely like, so like one of the reasons the Matrix really still holds up, fucking really still holds up, is because how much practical effects there are in that movie. You know what I mean? They're just so like, practical effects just hold up. They just do, because there's nothing that can replace something that looks completely photorealistic, because it is photorealistic. And like for how good technology has gotten, it still hasn't gotten to the point where things that are CGI are completely photoreal. It just haven't. And like this is the one thing I do dog on this, but like at the same time, I have to think about the Matrix in general, right? So there's a lot of critics who like say they love this trailer, but they're not really excited for it, because there's a track record for the Wachowskis and their movies, and they don't traditionally do well for critics. I get that for sure. They deal with a lot of really grandiose stories, and a lot of their movies just don't land for a lot of critics and things like that. I'll say this: I really fucking enjoyed Speed Racer. I thought that was a fantastic movie, and I think still holds up too. It was a really, really well done movie. It's fantastical. It's
I see
fun.
what you're saying, man. Like, because like even right before this, I don't really like the effect of that girl jumping. Like it is already too CGI. Like that easily could have been a practical effect when she lands
Right.
on that building, and instead it's already looking like it's already looking more and more computer generated, just with those two, just with like her jumping leading into the Agent Smith morph.
Yeah,
Right?
for sure. Yeah. Which you kind of okay, and the whole reason I even brought that up is because you have to kind of forgive that, because I guarantee you this movie did not get the budget that the original, well, that the second that the Matrix sequels got.
Right.
And the budget here is probably not going to be as big as those either, because of those reasons. It just has to be the way that the business runs. The Matrix has a beautiful namesake, and it's definitely a movie that has bumped at the ages and gotten a really good audience. But you have to give the box office prowess of the Wachowskis some credence here to the effects.
So do you think that maybe in a sense when they reboot this movie in a sense, right, that like they're trying to save and convince Neo that he's like that he has to do, like he's the one again, because like I already see this scene right here, and just in the seconds that I see he's on his knees, there's a sprinkler shower just like there is with Morpheus. There's it looks like an agent pointing a gun. The water's like spattering down. Like this really does remind me of the Morpheus scene when
Yeah,
Morpheus is on his
rescuing.
knees.
Yeah,
and like there's a window in the background, and then like I expect some like this is where I expect Neo to actually come in through that helicopter, like from that helicopter.
Right, you're right. This is very much mirroring the rescue scene. Also, the rescue sequence. Oh god, the fucking. I love the Matrix. We fucking love the Matrix. That rescue fucking scene, the entire fucking sequence of the
Yeah, it's
Morpheus
all great,
fucking
right?
rescue is incredible. Yeah, I feel that too. You're right. Now that you mention all that, I mean, it does harken all the way back to that.
And then and like you mentioned it while we were going through, so we have just a lot of blasts. Basically, right after this, there's just gunfire after gunfire after explosion, and then like I could barely pay attention until you mentioned it in the original watching of Carrie-Anne Moss being reborn, because like she has the shaved head.
Yes,
Like
yes, there
seconds
is.
later, it's like coming up right. We see Rabbit Girl again.
Yeah,
And
Morpheus.
then we see Morpheus shooting.
Wait, there it is.
Down.
There, I see it. I just passed it. It's hard to seek on this timeline because it doesn't take you exactly where the fucking picture is. But I'm seeing it
because we're getting only half frames. Like these like.
There it is. That is Trinity in the real world. I mean, could she be a clone? Because we know that she died, but we don't know that maybe the machine saved her life.
Right, and then like there's even the callback. I'll get to it in a minute. Like I saw another callback that we're coming up to. So like, is this Trinity? She's right after we see her be reborn. All of a sudden, she's starting to fight the SWAT team, which are notorious to be basically, I'm going to say, double agents, because
this definitely harkens back to the opening of the first movie.
Right,
where and here so she's like, doing some like weird force energy power.
And then we see the portal again. Morpheus dips his finger into the portal again, and I'm like, oh, okay, now they're really calling it back. Did you see that?
Wait a minute, that looks like Morpheus doesn't know what it is.
That's what I'm saying. So
it's like they're awakening Morpheus,
or I think they're awakening all three of them. Like they've lost their three people, the Trinity,
the Holy Trinity.
They've lost Morpheus, Trinity, and Neo, and that they're trying to wake them all up. And so I don't know, man. We can.
It does, because this harkens to like where Neo was like touching it from the original. So it's like they're reawakening. Yeah.
But here's where I get excited, because we love the acrobatics, right?
Yeah.
In the Matrix. And this girl's obviously going to be an important part. I can't wait to see White Rabbit Girl, because she's obviously kicking ass. She's shooting some guns right there. This right here, play this sequence again, just with no sound again, like, because this part right here is where he's flipping. You see the dodging of bullets, and then that right there, if you pause that and go back a little bit, is like in Reloaded. They don't do much with this, but like, I mean, it's a lot. This is a big. I'm sorry. What I meant to say is like this is a big plot point in Reloaded, and I like to see this callback. But it's that Neo wakes up from a dream where Trinity jumps out of a window right here.
Yeah,
Trinity jumps out of a window, and he has the choice to save like either his life or hers, or Morpheus's or hers, and he has to make that choice. And like make that choice is like something that he talks to the Oracle about, and then like she knows, right? And there's a couple of the dreams where it ends up where like Trinity's the one that has to die for this, in this scene, and like already seeing this callback to the jumping out of a building. I love it.
There's definitely such mirroring of the first one, and like moving back and forth, and time is not real. It's not linear. It's cyclical. There's just, and then there's these new. What is that? Is there like another person that's like?
Oh, that right there. Doesn't that remind you of the train station scene when Neo and that other dude are just in the middle of in midair?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like 218.
Yeah, no, I know exactly what you're talking about. And that's the end of this.
Now you passed it.
Yeah, I think it's actually before the window. It's after that for sure.
It's at 218. I think you have to play like 216 and then pause it. right
That,
there.
yeah. Definitely harkens back to that for sure.
Because like, do you see like the columns and everything? I feel like
Yeah.
that's what they're doing. And I was like, and it's interesting because this is the guy. It looks like shadowy version of the guy that we see at the end. That's like, oh, you're going back where it all started. You know, like
Yeah. They're just like, what is? Okay, that totally gives me fucking the Architect vibes, which is where the second sequel, the sequel just kind of fell apart for everybody because there was a lot going on there. That was just like over. There was just too much. It was too heady.
At 2:20, I mean, we see Neo holding bullets. Like we see him stopping bullets right there.
Yeah.
So I'm like, and Trinity behind him. What a beautiful shot. So we're getting everything we want. I feel like we're getting everything we want from this movie. Bad or good, we're getting what we want. So like we can just sit down and shut up. Like, you know, like that's what it is.
I love this scene here where it turns out that Neo's got fucking the Force.
Oh yeah.
So he's got the Force, and you know we're back in the Matrix. This is where he's falling off the building.
Yep.
And then we get this like weird fucking like. All right, so that's like a thing that kind of calls back to the fucking like back to the Matrix. So like okay. There's a whole lot of implications there, right? Of understanding what the fuck he's talking about. So like. They're telling Neo about the Matrix. That dude's obviously a fucking program. We could say a lot. This movie is coming out when? December? Which is like 4 months from now? Resurrections, meaning people are coming back.
Mm-hmm.
12, 22, 21. I'm watching this in a theater. I don't like that's just
Isn't that great how that's a mirror image? The date is a mirror image.
Oh shit, yeah. Wow. Wow. Oh my god, dude.
They're trying to fuck with us, man.
Like, wait, what day is that? What day of the week is that? I'm interested.
They don't care. They just wanted that date, man.
They did want that date. What day? If it's a Tuesday. They did want.
I know, dude. It's on a Tuesday.
It's a Wednesday. Sorry, it's a Wednesday. It's a Wednesday. It's a Wednesday before Christmas. That's so right, dude. The fucking mirror of the. Okay. So final thoughts on everything here. Like I am hopeful that this movie is going to, at the very least, satisfy my need for there to be a true ending to the character of Neo, and the relationship he has with Trinity. That's what I need. That's what I need from this, Drew. That's what I need from this.
I'm hoping this becomes a. We talked about that, like that random Die Hard movie where they really wanted to like play it as like we're going to introduce the new Die Hard character while killing off the old one. And like I want this kind of like to be a better version of that, where like we can have, like, and that's what Star Wars did a great job about that. Like we're gonna wrap up one story, and we're going to let other stories flourish, and that's what I want to happen out of this movie. Is like I don't want the Matrix to be dead as a whole. If it can't, like, best case scenario, the Matrix stays around as a story that gets retold through a different way, but like the characters that we know and love are the tunnel to that.
Yeah, 100%. And I mirror everything you just said there for sure. I also hope that we get a definitive destruction of the machines, because we never got that. I think that's good, man. I think we did it. The Matrix is back. I'm gonna fucking watch it in the fucking theater.
Small note, the guy at the end of that trailer, do you know what he's known for? Did you recognize him? I was just wondering.
I didn't.
He is the comedic relief in Hamilton. He's King George or King.
Oh shit! He's the guy who sings that fucking. That one, he's the king. He's King George, the guy who only appears on stage by himself, singing some of the fucking hardest notes I've ever heard.
He played King George, I believe, on Broadway and in the Disney Plus recording.
Yeah, that's the only way I watched it. Disney Plus, yeah, for sure, man. Dude, fucking.
I thought that was cool. So I don't know why, but it's back. We did it.
Oh, we did it, man. All right, ladies and gentlemen, please. Like, comment, subscribe. What are your ideas of what's happening with the Matrix and what's going to happen after this movie? And also, like, we're gonna end it this way. We always end it this way, but like, Drew, what movie should people be watching before they watch this movie? Like, they should go fucking watch The Matrix. Just go watch The Matrix.
Go watch a fucking movie. Let it be The Matrix. Any movie would do, but go fucking watch The Matrix.
Go watch The Matrix. All right, guys, thank you so much. Matrix is back.